Now the pressure's on. Chair Lee is up next. Got to make sure I'm doing this right. You want to introduce your bill?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members, for hearing this bill, House File 1340. So real quickly, the bill would just allow an expanded use of HIBs that we heard earlier today for adaptive reuse or building conversions. And I'll turn it over to my testifier why we're bringing this forward.
Please introduce yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you for having me. Mr. Chair, committee members, my name is Tom Parent, and I'm the Senior Operations Officer for Minneapolis Public Schools. Thank you for the opportunity to provide some thoughts on House File 1340, and thank you to Chair Lee for authoring the bill and initiating this discussion. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, school buildings represent the second largest sector of public infrastructure in the country, second only to highways. School districts in Minnesota maintain separate budgets for facilities and capital expenses, similar to the legislature's general fund and bonding budgets. The Building Construction Fund, called Fund 6 because of how we report it to Minnesota Department of Education, is primarily made up of the proceeds from bonds and bond sales and pay-go levies that school district across the state use this revenue to update and maintain this critical public infrastructure. Strategic management of a school district's real estate portfolio is critical to ensure that those investments are in the best long-term interests of our communities that we serve. When a school district determines that a building is no longer needed, there is an importance for the district to get fair market value for the property as the proceeds from the sale go back into the debt service to offset future property tax increases from future investments. Oftentimes, that financial objective can run contrary to community needs or aspirations. In Minneapolis, like communities across the state, affordable housing is at a critical state. At some point in their K-12 journey, 1 out of every 5 students in Minneapolis has experienced homelessness or the threat of eviction, which is why Minneapolis Public Schools partnered with the City of Minneapolis, Hennepin County, the Minneapolis Public Housing Authority, and the YMCA of the North to create our Stable Homes, Stable Schools program. But more can be done, particularly at the juncture when school districts access surplus property. In the last year, MPS has sold 3 buildings that had all been unused for many years, and all of which will have some component of housing in their future. Each, however, will have varying levels of affordability and meeting the community needs. One developer, The Link, is a nonprofit that provides housing for teens experiencing homelessness, which is the type of building reuse that supports our mission to ensure every student receives access to the academic and wraparound supports necessary to be successful. But developers like them are oftentimes at a competitive disadvantage when the building is listed on the open market like we do. House File 1340 would expand the use of housing infrastructure bonds for the adaptive reuse of buildings that are converted to affordable housing and could allow developers like them to compete with other uses on the open market. I appreciate that we're having this discussion today because I know communities around the state lack affordable housing options, and when school facilities become available for reuse, districts' property taxpayers should not be penalized for districts choosing to sell a property designated as affordable housing. This bill is a good starting point for a discussion of how to incentivize the construction of more affordable housing while protecting our local property taxpayers from shouldering more of the burden. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, is there any questions? Representative Scriba.
Very brief. Thank you, Chair. Representative Lee. This is basically, it's not allocating any dollars. It's just changing to be able to use that building for something other than what the statute says now. You're just trying to add to the statute, correct?
Chair Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative Scriba. So yes, that's correct. This bill would just expand the use for building conversion, adaptive reuse, so that if there's an empty building in any of our district that doesn't serve a purpose of housing, if there was a nonprofit developer who may want to take over that building to help build the housing that's needed in our community, that's an eligible use of HIBs, and they will still have to go through the process, that was presented to us before from Commissioner Ho from Minnesota Housing Finance.
All right, any other questions? Not seeing any closing comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and also just want to say thank you to all of the members that signed on to make this a bipartisan effort, knowing that there are different uses and different needs across the entire state of Minnesota. We know that there have been on the tours a lot of buildings that we are exploring potentially funding for, whether for housing or for other uses, and so this is just part of that conversation. Thank you.